Hey there, Beast River. Eric here with your fall programming update. Starting in the first half of September, we're going to focus less on benchmark style testing workouts, as you saw in the later half of August, and we're going to focus more on fun workouts. During the second half of the month, we're going to kick off a 4 to 5 week Olympic weightlifting program. Plus, we're going to throw in some open WODs just to see where we're at progress-wise, but we're not going to take the open WODs too seriously. Towards the end of the month, late September, early October, we're going to start to build in some very open prep. Once more, nothing that we're going to go too crazy with. The real purpose, however, of this update today is to tell you about our extra program. It's currently live in Wodify, so you can check it out. What is extra programming? Extra programming is designed for the athlete at CrossFit East River who's looking for more than just hitting a daily workout of the day. For the vast majority of our athletes, just coming in, hitting the WOD is going to meet your fitness goals, and extra is probably for somebody who's looking for more of a performance-focused programming and to do more than just the daily WOD. So let me explain. Right now, we post the daily WOD. We've been doing this new style programming. Shouldn't feel too new, but since the beginning of the summer, the last time we did a programming update brief, we slightly shifted the style of programming. So that's the daily WOD, and that's going to keep continuing. However, we're going to add two other things. So the daily WOD and the extra programming will become part B. We're going to add a part A, conditioning, and we're going to add a part C, bias work. What are these two parts, and how do they go together? So the part A, conditioning, is additional conditioning work that's really designed to build your engine to get better at the sport of CrossFit. Remember, once more, the sport of CrossFit is different than doing CrossFit for fitness. So you could say if you do the sport of fitness, CrossFit is your hobby, it's your goal, whereas CrossFit for fitness is what we do daily in the gym. That's just to make you better at everyday life. And then part C, bias work, is essentially weakness work. So we're going to address whatever your weaknesses might be in strength, gymnastics, or conditioning, and we're going to do extra work to overcome that, in addition to the daily WOD. So once more, the daily WOD is fundamental to the extra programming. It's the first thing that you should prioritize throughout your day. You don't necessarily have to do the WOD before conditioning, and I'll explain that in a second. However, you need to make sure that you're still carving out time every day to do the daily WOD with the classes. I personally think one of the most powerful things about CrossFit is getting in a community class and being accountable to not just yourself, but to your peers and the rest of the community and the gym as a whole. So after the daily WOD, if you're going to follow the extra programming, conditioning. Most of the conditioning pieces are either running related, bike, monostructural type things designed to build your metabolic engine. So this is stuff you're going to do on your own. You can do it during open gym time or for a run. Obviously, you can just go outside and go for a run. You don't need any equipment for that besides yourself. Now, the bias work is only if your time allows throughout the day. Between the conditioning and the daily WODs, that's probably 90 minutes of working out plus recovery, getting close to 2 hours. The bias work is going to extend it even more. So I really can't stress enough that the risk-reward dynamic, you really get a lot less, I shouldn't say risk, I should say more the time reward. If you come into the gym and do an hour daily WOD and you hit it hard, you're going to get a pretty good level of fitness. You're going to get a great level of fitness. All this extra stuff is going to make you better at CrossFit, but it's not necessarily going to take your fitness that much further than just hitting the WOD. So let's look at today's programming to explain the extra and how it might look. So we have the daily WOD, which, like I said, is your priority, followed by the conditioning. So you could do it. You could wake up, you could go for a run and do the conditioning work, and then in the evening you'd come in for your daily WOD. After the daily WOD, time allowing during open gym, you could hit your bias work. Or you could change this around. Maybe you do the WOD in the morning, you go for a run on your lunch break, and then you come in during open gym in the evening to work on your bias work. The order doesn't matter as long as you're prioritizing the daily WOD. Now, looking at the bias work, it has 3 separate sections: strength, gymnastics, and conditioning. This day, there's some strict pressing for gymnastics, there's handstanding, triple unders, and conditioning, there's more conditioning. So your question probably is, I have to do all this? And the answer is no. You want to pick the category that you're weakest at. So now let's talk about defining your weaknesses. Actually, hold that thought. Next slide. So a couple questions to ask yourself. Is the extra programming for me? Is your overall goal in the gym fitness, or are you aggressively looking to pursue performance? If it's just fitness, this extra programming, maybe it's not something you need. Next question, are you regularly attending 4 to 5 WODs per week? Be honest with yourself. If you're not getting in the gym 5 times as it is, don't worry about doing more. Just hit these WODs, and with our programming, you're going to get a little bit of conditioning, a little bit of strength work, a little bit of gymnastics every day you come in the gym. Every week, it's varied intentionally. So the WODs are going to cover you on most bases. Next question, are you doing 5 WODs a week, and are you recovering adequately from these WODs? So if you're already super sore and you're not able to hit your workouts hard, don't think about adding more stuff. Think about building out your recovery lifestyle to allow your body to actually get the most out of the workouts you're already doing. This might mean more stretching, yoga, mobilizing before and after class, so your body does have a chance to recover. Let's not forget nutrition either. Next, are you willing to spend extra time per week recovering in addition to the workout? So I already showed you all this extra programming. You're going to be sore from all that. Are you going to be willing to put in the work, get the extra sleep, watch your diet in order to fuel this nutrition? These are questions you need to ask yourself before you even worry about doing the extra programming. So let's talk about determining your weaknesses. Objectively speaking about your weaknesses can be pretty difficult. Maybe you already know what they are, maybe you don't. So underneath the video on YouTube, I'm going to put a link to the CrossFit Competitors Guide, which is the resource I'm about to use to show you how to define your weaknesses. Let's take a look. So the first rubric out of the Competitors Guide we have is this athlete questionnaire. So there's some benchmarks, and I'm going to use myself. It's going to be a little bit embarrassing, but I'm going to use myself to show you where I stand at and how I would pick a bias work. So let's look at the first thing, press. I can actually press 185, so I'm going to give myself a 5. Let me back up. The 10-5-1 scale that you see here, 10 is like a games athlete. 1 is like somebody who's trying to be competitive in the open, so maybe top 1,000 and top 2,000 in a region. So keep that in mind if you're 0, as you're about to see from me in a lot of things, that these are already pretty advanced athletes, like I said, who are willing to push that performance envelope even further. So gymnastics benchmarks, 30 muscle-ups for time, and power snatch. So power snatch, I'll probably do 205 maybe. I can give myself a 4 for power snatch. Muscle-ups for time, though, I can't do 30 muscle-ups for time in 5 minutes. Maybe it'll take me 8, 7.5 minutes on a good day. So I'm a 0 in this category. So, all right, we have some weightlifting, we have some gymnastics. Let's move on to conditioning. 400-meter sprints, the first one up here. I could do a 75-second 400-meter sprint, so I'll give that a 1. Fran, I've never gone faster than 3 minutes, so I'm also going to give myself a 1. I'm probably around 3:15 or so maybe 0.9. So now we have some conditioning benchmarks. Let's go to this really cool diagram. So on this diagram, I've graphed my numbers in a couple different domains. So 5 for strength, 5 for weightlifting. But my endurance, my stamina, my gymnastic skills, those are all 1s. So using this, we can visually see and tell ourselves, hey, Eric, lay off the barbell. You're doing okay with that. You really got to build up your stamina and your endurance and gymnastic skills if you want to be serious about this CrossFit stuff. Performance-wise, not just fitness-wise. You don't have to do 30 muscle-ups for time to be fit. That's nonsense. But if you're pursuing performance, yeah, I probably want to get that a lot faster. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of idea of not only what the extra programming is, but how to go about the bias work. I hope you're excited for it. Getting the extra programming to line up with the daily WODs is it's an interesting thing. And you'll see Thursdays and Sundays are off days for the daily WODs, but the extra programming will have some recovery, active recovery type stuff built in. So I've been doing this programming myself on and off for a little while, and it's pretty fun. So if you check it out, I hope you enjoy it too. All right, see you guys in the gym. Take care.